Hello and welcome to the first episode of Politics First. Now, politics, as we all know, is all about perception. What you appear to be is more important than what you actually are. Now, with the advent of 24/7 news stations and social networking websites like Facebook and Twitter, a major chunk of perception building has shifted from on the ground to the virtual world. Now, over the next 30 minutes, we go into the lives of these people who are indulging in image building exercises. Who are these people? What do they do? And more importantly, what is their draw? Now, their approach may be different, but their objective common: to fight for a political mind space.
This is the news. 24 hours ago, Times now revealed the details of the JPC report.
The age of 24/7 news.
Are high. Related to you,
A political controversy a day.
the screening committee on the 7th of February.
And intense, heated political debates.
मरता क्या नहीं करता, this is their problem.
But with politicians usually finding them on the wrong side, there's not much defense they can offer each day.
अपराध में वो इतना दिन तक ही भोग लगाया.
And thus has begun a trend what many call opinion outsourcing. Not exactly the party line, but somewhat close. Not exactly the last word, but certainly a beginning. Not exactly the truth, but at least a defense for whatever it's worth.
Rahul Gandhi in one day, 3 10-minute speeches is having such an earth-shaking impact.
Meet Sanjay Jha, heads a famous cricket website, but a few years back an idea dawned upon him and his friend Rajiv Gowda, an idea called HamaraCongress.com.
Two years ago when the Anna Hazare campaign started, that as a party and as UPA, we took a very massive hit. But the beauty of the internet is that there is no first mover advantage anymore. That used to happen in 2000. Today, on social media, if Rahul Gandhi actually opens his account, he'll have twice the number of followers that Narendra Modi has accumulated over the last whatever number of months. And he will have genuine followers, no fake followers.
Sanjay and his friend Rajiv have almost become the Congress party's voice by proxy on television debates. He is among those who have chosen to make a career out of defending a party whose own leaders occasionally back out on tricky issues.
In the United States, when the Democrats, Obama and Mitt Romney fought their campaign, beyond the funding that they raised for their election campaign, a lot of it was actually coming from sources which were independently supporting the Republicans or the Democrats. And that is the way by which I think politics of the future has to be fought. A Hamara Congress example, for example, today, is not an official Congress venture, but it is an ideological supporter of the Congress party.
Here in Gujarat, Chief Minister Narendra Modi's supporters understood the power of virtual world almost instantly. A massive proliferation on Twitter and Facebook began, and it has now assumed proportions where it matches, sometimes even exceeds, any other form of political propaganda.
"24-year-old Ravi Ghiar, a social media enthusiast from Surat. He says he was pained by the perception of Narendra Modi in the national media and thought of defending him on the internet. While most politicians would be scared at the proposition of trusting a novice with image building, Ghiar's dabble into the defense of a man thrice his age has become intense.
They heard all sort of negative views about Gujarat, which they have seen or inspired from the mainstream media. So I started focusing on social media to highlight his good works, and then I came in contact with officials, with the CMO. So I started working with them.
He now manages Narendra Modi's online presence, his website and all its content, even in the core team that manages Modi's Twitter handle.
Narendra Modi started following me on Twitter last year, like on December 31st December, he gave us a gift. So yes, I interact with him via DM direct messages. We are updating his YouTube channel also regularly. You can see every feed of his video or talks or anything, any speeches you can find on his official YouTube channel.
While Gihar thinks of the internet as an image building tool, there are some in Gujarat who feel that the World Wide Web is the place where future political battles would be won and lost.
Ahmedabad-based Parag Sheth, a doctor by profession, a BJP sympathizer and a strong Modi supporter, he has been quick to do his math.
Social media is going to influence the political outcome, definitely. With media, I can interact on social media that I don't usually get my chance every day. So on social media, I usually interact with media. I retweet, I follow them, I argue with them. So their mind can be changed.
Then there are a few like the Poonawalla brothers. Restaurateurs from Pune, Tehseen and Shehzad have parked themselves in Delhi, have taken up short political assignments over the past few years.
In their early 30s, both the brothers feel that their propagation of the government's policies will help connect the Grand Old Party to the younger generation.
Twitter was dominated by the right-wingers. So our basic objective is, in a democracy, debate is the hallmark of democracy. Whether it's television, whether it's newspaper, whether it's social media, let there be a debate. But all of us believe in a Nehruvian India, a Nehruvian idea of debate. And all we're doing is putting out facts.
Shehzad and Tehseen's approach is systematic. Come a big political crisis, the Poonawallas jump to the rescue. Twitter, TV, newspapers, everywhere. Their trick is simple.
Sometimes it's possible to get in touch with some leaders and get a clarification on what exactly that needs to be projected. But most often, most of our ministers now, all the young ones especially who are handling the Minister of State portfolios, are very quick on reacting themselves, and they put it out on Twitter, and you kind of take the cue from there. And also because we've been following Congress's politics and Congress's ideology for a long time now, and you essentially research a lot on these issues, what are the past statements that have been made by the official spokespersons, you kind of guesstimate that this is the kind of line that the Congress party is going to take or be comfortable with.
Initially, it was believed that the communists were leading the race to capture that political mind space. So much so that in the 60s and the 70s, most of the intellectuals were looked at being left-leaning. For example, this organization, the Safdar Hashmi Memorial Trust or the Sahmat, have done celebrated work in the past 2.5 decades. But today, perhaps they are not able to adapt themselves to the modern means and reach out to the common people.
Sahmat has been witness to some of the most illustrious works in the past, from the time of Safdar Hashmi's death in 1989 to the peak of the Babri demolition, even 2002 Gujarat riots. Sahmat and its idea have been elaborate.
तो पिछले 24 साल से उनकी याद में और उनकी वैल्यूज़ को प्रमोट करने के लिए ये एक संस्था बनाई सारे आर्टिस्ट और लोगों ने मिलकर, और ये पिछले 24 साल से सीपीएम के किसी न किसी एमपी के घर से, दफ्तर से काम करती है। ये संस्था बेसिकली, अगर आप मुझसे छोटा सा पूछें तो ये है कि एक तो सेकुलरिज्म और एक इगैलिटेरियन वैल्यूज़, तो इन दो आइडियल्स को लेके, और फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन। तो अगर आप कहें कि 3 इश्यूज़ पर सामाजिक, कल्चरल, this is not a political organization. Sahmat never has pitched itself as a political organization.
Street plays as a form of communication is still relevant here. The organizers feel that in an internet-infested modern-day society, this form of interaction hasn't really become a piece of vintage.
Our work is, as I said, essentially where people live and work. So as a result, we go to factory areas, to slums, to resettlement colonies, occasionally to colleges, schools and middle class areas, but that's usually less because colleges and schools mean where you are working. you have to do it in the daytime and you have to take off from work. The street plays we began in 1978. And from 78 onwards, we've done, for 10 years we did only street plays, and that's in 88, and from 88 onwards we do both. And apart from theatre, we also bring out a journal called Nukkad Janam Samvad, which is a theatre journal. We also organize talks, we also have workshops, and we've tried to build a network, an all India network of street theatre and political theatre activists. So there's a variety of work that we have been doing.